This week's parsha begins with two pieces that deal with the bringing of products, trumos, maisros, bikurim. The common denominator of the two is that both of them involve people needing to make a statement. Not just being mekayim the mitzvah, but needing to say something about it. The first piece, of course, is bikurim. And a person has to make a speech where he expresses his recognition that the fruits and the land that the fruits come from, he's received from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He appreciates the history and the backdrop of how Hashem took us out of Egypt, settled us in Eretz Yisrael, and he shows appreciation for what he has. The second piece, though, Sheni of this week's parsha, is more perplexing. It has to do with the offering of the Maasrot. Maaser Rishon, Maaser Sheni, Maaser Ani, a tenth of a person's produce that he has to separate. Torah tells us, Sheni, that at the end of a 3-year cycle, the person has to declare that he has dealt properly with all of his Maasrot. The declaration itself is surprising, because we don't find that by other mitzvot that a person has to declare at the end of the process that he's fulfilled it properly. The second thing that's peculiar about it is that Chazal described this declaration as vidui maasrot. Vidui means a confession, usually a confession of guilt. Why would it be called vidui maasrot? The Sforno here gives an explanation. The fact that we have to give the maasrot to the Leviim as opposed to ourselves, the Bechorim, is because we sinned at the Egel. He's struggling to explain how this can be seen as a vidui. Rav Kook has an explanation that I think is very important, not just for understanding this piece, but for understanding ourselves and for understanding the tshuva process that we should be involved in the month of Elul. Rav Kook points out that what we're declaring at the end of the process of the Maasrot is basically one thing. As the Torah says in different variations a few times in these psukim, Asiti kechol asher tzivitani. I did exactly as I'm commanded to do. Rav Kook writes that naturally introspection is about us looking for the things we're not doing correctly. For us searching for problems and trying to repair those problems. And that is of course important, because a person can't improve themselves if they don't realize they have problems, if they don't search and identify those problems and work on them. It says Rav Kook in Einayah, second part of the Masechet Brachot, Maaser Sheni, Oz Tesvav, that the danger is that a person can develop a negativity about themselves. A person can develop an insecurity, a low self-esteem about themselves, and not appreciate the things that they've done successfully. Says Rav Kook, the vidui of Maasrot is that after this long 3-year process of doing things correctly, a person should stand up. A person should declare that he's done things correctly. A person should appreciate that he's been successful at being Mekayim the Ratzon Hashem. I think that this connects beautifully to another group of psukim, these psukim at the end of the parsha, that speak about the flip side, about Golut. Torah says that part of Golut is not just the physical suffering, but it's the introduction of this fear, this negativity, this fear of one's own shadow. Torah says, Hashem says, that when we're punished and we're sent into Galus, Veheveti morech bilvavam, I'm going to bring a downtroddenness, a fear into the hearts of the Jewish people. To the point where Pasuk Samach Vav, it says, V'hayu chayecha tuluyim l'cha mineged, your life will hang in the balance. This is where the phrase comes from. Ufachadeta layla v'yomam, you'll be afraid night and day. V'lo ta'amin b'chayecha, and you won't believe in the value of your own life. This is a dangerous thing if a person doesn't believe in the value of their own lives. How are they going to maximize their potential? How are they going to take themselves seriously? If a person only focuses on me'ayin bata, ula'ana toholech, that we come from tipas rucha, from nothingness, and that we're going to be offer rima v'tolea, we come from nothing and we're going nowhere, so then we're worthless. A person needs the third part. To realize that there is an accounting because we do have the potential and therefore the responsibility to accomplish. Velotamin b'chayecha is the dangerous byproduct of Golus, the psychological byproduct of Golus. Tzadok HaKohen writes, Kishem, shechayev adam lahamin b'HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just like a person needs to believe in God, kach tzarech ha'adam lahamin b'atzmo. So a person, the same way, has to believe achar kach, afterwards in himself. We're created by God to do God's work in this world. And we have to believe in our ability to do that. And every 3 years we have to express our appreciation over having done that. And the tefillah continues, Hashkifa mimon katshecha min hashamayim, uvarech et amcha et Yisrael ve'et ha'adama asher natatu lanu kasher nishbata lavotenu eretz sabat chalav udvash. We appeal to Hashem that He should look at us min hashamayim, appreciate what we're doing, and bless us in the land of Israel with continued bracha and atzlacha. A person needs the confidence to turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and ask for this blessing. And that confidence needs to be rooted in a person's appreciation of their successful avodat Hashem, and in the significance of that. That Hashem wants to bless us with the things that will help us if we're using all of what we have to serve Him. In this month of Elul, we should search for and correct our flaws, but also appreciate and express as part of our vidur what we do correctly, and turn to Hashem and ask us to give us the bracha of Hatzlacha, particularly in Eretz Yisrael, to be able to continue to serve Him. Shabbat Shalom.